So this is what he's explaining. You should based understand the oitzim the mind that's given to the chayolim. And the preciousness of the treasure that's opened and given to the officers, and through them to the soldiers. So first explains the reach, the descent, as it were, of the Ein Sof. Meaning to say, the Eibishter's direct, accessible presence is nimshach, available and accessible to the greatest descent. And not only in the Gedel Nivraim, which is generally the Tzvar Shemayim, that remain undiminished, and also included in that is that the species continue undiminished. In the great numbers, even though he had said that at a given point there's only a particular number, but since Bepeil Mamish invested in creation is the ability to produce undiminished, that was the key, not weakening, and endless Nivroim, so Be'emes is Bepeil Ein Mispah. This is true Ein Sof. As he explained at length in the Maimon till now. So appreciating, first he's stressing here the mata din tachlis. So this adds to the understanding of the Eloi in the dargis which are above lamata din tachlis. Meaning, if its reach down here is endless, and in the true of Ein Sof, a true Ein Sof expression, so this makes us appreciate the Lamayla Maila. Shezel Inyan Ha'Shein Sof Lamayla Din Ketz. An appreciation of the Gilui above Lamayla Din Ketz, commercial Mavai by Stephen Shalachar is Uinyan Oitzish Lamayla. The kvetch is going to be in the Sifim later in Lamayla Maila Din Ketz. We didn't differentiate this too much, although he did. Lamayla Din Ketz means no tchila. Lamata Mata Din Tachlis means no end. And this is all to explain the Lamayla Maila Din Ketz, which will be explained in the subsequent chapters. So this is the beginning of this as a border. This is the Nekud that it begins to explain now. The bottom line being that above they open when they give the hidden that this is even higher. The are higher even in the expression of itself. Lamata, as we demonstrated adin tachlis, ma godlo, ma rabu, bligvol. That's what we explained in the next Maimon. The whole intent of giving these treasures, that's the Iker. As we're learning it here, it's the Einli Tchila. That's the Einli Tchila is brought out in Lamai Lamada in Tachlis. That's the Skala Dafka Lamata. At any rate, so the kavana is, let's say, for the war, but for lady in the Shalom, the kavana is not simply expansion of territory to gain resources, which an avodah means an avodah which has an agenda to get a reward. Even the highest level of reward. I'm reminded of the highest level of reward. This was shocking to me when I realized, although I heard it, but I didn't hear it. And that is as follows. We're all familiar with the story about Sibel Azol from Dir Veren, aber Chassidus Zos the Chazar, the Mittel Rebbe who made a takana, that Chassidim coming to and from Lubavitch, after in each place that they pass through, say Chassidus. It's never told the story. It's a famous story told the Purim Tov Chai, that a younger man came to the Mittel Rebbe and asked to be exempt from this task. And the reason, because he was a very talented fellow, and he explained the Maimah very well. Mitlas Maimah, by the way, were extremely deep. And he had a sense of yeshus. Yeshus. It stroked his ego, so he wanted to be exempt. So the Mittler Rebbe told him, and may an onion become of you, but Chassidus you continue to review, to share. So that Fabrengen put in Tovshin Chai, this is way after Mashke by the Rebbe, well into his second bottle of Benedictine. 2 whole bottles he drank Purim that night. One at the Suda with the Rebbetzin before he came, and the second one in front of everybody. As you can hear from the get-go. Al Kaponim, so explained what the onion means and all the diyukim. But in the story, so so classically, what we assume, what's the yeshus? The yeshus is that he feels, the attention, the compliments, he did a good job, he's, that's the assumption. That was his gaiva. You know what the Rebbe says? His yeshus is that he was pale nachas ruach by the Mittler Rebbe. Yeah? This is our goal. That he was pale nachas, not that the Mittler Rebbe has nachas from the spreading of Chassidus and another years living Chassidus, but he paled it. We should give nachas. So there too the question is, we should give nachas, we should give nachas. I love you. It's I love you or I love you. So that's what we're saying here. It could be this other dargis too, but I can't think of a higher one. The highest reward. That's not bizbuz or iters. Elav davka v'detzochen. Here we're talking about no agenda at all. We're talking about sheyushlam rotz and hamelach. That's the story. And itzochen is that the king's desire be fulfilled. The rotz and atmos mus in baruchu. The rotz and they bestimmt himself heine kvish atmos mus mislabish barotzen kvish kolol b'atmos muhus. So first of all, it means that atmos is invested in the rotzen. It's an atmis dike rotzen. Where is this atmis dike rotzen that is ultimately about the Eibishter himself? That is expressed where? In Elam Hazeh HaGashmi. Yisrael HaKadosh Baruch Hu did it b'tachtoinu. Because there's levels of rotzen, but the etzim is not invested. There are gender-laden rotzens. You're asking what we're up to? I speak up, I'm sorry.
You just explained.
Okay. So now the last paragraph. A person has many wills in the course of the day, but not in the atzmizdiki wills. If they're not satisfied, no, they're not. Not like etzem hanefesh. They're contextual wills. And it's forgotten, even if they don't happen. I want this. Then there's atzmizdiki rotzen, which is negate his very being. There's no relenting on that, and that is touches and expresses the very essence, like the desire to live. That's an atzmizdiki rotzen. Or even more than that, really, is that children should live and prosper. It's even deeper. All right, let's continue. This is what he speaks about, as we said in the beginning. Sif Aleph, the whole Hemshech. It's all part of one Nakuda. This whole BASI legani is the Rashvi and the Shechina Lamata. Shika Shechina Batachtonim Moishe. At the outset, the Shechina was down Yelish Achakach Nistalkom. Then it departed through the 7 sinful generations. The whole avoid is to bring down here the question is Ika Shechina, not just Shechina. Elikus. A gender-laden elikus, that's all schar, but Ika Shechina, the atzmizdike investment of the Eibush himself, we show you betchila, as the Ika Shechina was revealed lamata at the outset. Although he explains, now that my body of the BASI legani, the difference between the Ika Shechina then and now through our Avodah. But anyway, and how is this done through Torah mitzvahs? Boyfriend shall tzova, soldier, tzova, the three pirushim I know. Shekima mitzvahs, boyfriend handog shalang shi tzova. Number one, the three pirushim. The first pirush is that a yid, that the chassid does it. He's a first thing. He's a soldier. Kabbalah oil, tzova meloshen chayil. Shiva Kabbalah oil. That's the foundation. And then Vayisen says, boyfriend shall yislapshet b'mokim b'zman, b'mokim b'zman mugbal. And the second meaning of the word tzovat, alei tzva enish, alei oretz, time and space. That he does the mitzvahs in engaging the world. Tzova meloshen zman mugbal. Tzova implying time, limited time, set time. Dafke. The third pirush is tzivion, which means desire or beauty. Boyfriend shall be scholarless in a way of united, but tzova meloshen tzivion, beyoifi. I just heard yesterday, Rabbi Shapiro, this was the first name, Rabbi Shapiro's son-in-law. It's every week on COL. Last time was the first time I heard it. Every week, every Thursday night, he has what he calls treasures from his father-in-law's archives and voluminous diaries. His father, Nissim Mendel, who was a part of the board of Americas and so on, and one of the primary secretaries and writers of the Rebbe, and translators, fascinating personality. So he was sent on many shlichus of the Rebbe, undercover shlichus, posted in Russia in the 60s. He says he can't reveal much of what went on. But Chadakov told him that there's three conditions for shlichus. From the middle one, but the first one was that the shluchim shalom can Moishe in every situation to, the first one was every situation with the faces, to think deeply with the bittul, what would they ever want here? Because you're not going to get instructions there in Russia directly. But it's true of every shliach, every chassid, especially now post Gimel Tammuz. I'm adding that. The second thing is that the achrayus is to act as a chassid. And the third thing was his scholarlus, that all those that are doing in the shlichus have to be ba'achtos. That's the third point he's saying here. The three conditions for shlichus. I think the middle one was the one that I said, but the first two are correct. His scholarlus, the thing, his scholars, the whole Bnei Yisrael, the unity of all Yidin Barashechim, Shavtechim, from your head, still your wood choppers and water carriers. So even if you view the other shlichus as a water carrier, you've got to be ba'achtos. The chayin is called the whole keichas and nefesh, and the unity has to embrace within himself all of his faculties. Sivdalid spoke about the true. There he said that from the Mittel Rebbe that the true achtos, the true oneness of the keichas of the nefesh, are not as they are deep in the nefesh, in koyach and koychayuli, because the keichas are surrendered. The dissolves, of course, there's achtos there. The true achtos is the keichas invested in the guf, and it's all one body, and each faculty, each limb contributes to the other. With the DNA seen in every detail of the guf, that's the true achtos, and that expresses the true etzem nefesh. This is the good about the tzav. It's all based on the Mittel Rebbe there. This is where the true Antuchad is expressed dafke in the loy b'chushben, not that he's hiding cheshben, but in the cheshben, and in the endless cheshben. What reveals the parallel lamata of the Antuchad is the etzem nefesh, and where's the etzem nefesh? It's dafke in the atat tzav in the pratim when it's manifest and pervades the manifested expressions of the nefesh in the guf. That's the scholars. So that's the third nekudah. And through this we carry out the divine will. There should be a home for him. That the very essence of the king is present and expressed kafishis gali b'kor of mamish, as will be revealed very soon. The bias malcham the coming melech hamashiach lamata masar tvachim. Now, the Chaz of the Maimel, we'll review it. Will be another 5 weeks, another few weeks. I'm just going to read to you. Interestingly enough, because the Maimel is so deep and nuanced, the Kitzur is the briefest here. I'll just read it to you, so we'll just get a sense, and we'll continue now with the next Maamre. After the first two Maimorim of the Hemshech that explain of the Bali Lula, explains the Inyan of the general Avodah, he goes on to explain the koiches that are given for the Avodah, and that's the opening of the treasure for the victory. What is this treasure? It's as expressed in the Kunei Zohar, Oirin Sof Lamayla Din Ketz Lamat Din Tachlis. Oirin Sof, the Oir itself is Ein Sof, and that's not because of the Oir itself, but because it's made Amoir. And that's why it can create this Nivroim Yesh Ma'ayin, because since it's a reflection of the Moir, so it also can create that which has the sense of Ein Leitchila V'Sibah Shekodmala. So it's not only She'ein Li Sof, but Ein Leitchila. It engenders and creates that which feels it has no Tchila. Isavus of the Oirin Sof, so the creation of the Oirin Sof in its infinite expression is present in all of the levels of expression and creation. If that symptoms for the Gets, in Atzilus Esses for the of Blikvul, and even in Biyah, G'dayl Nivroim and Riba Nivroim. And this is the Spashta in Sof Lamat Adin Tach. And this will lead us to a deeper appreciation of the Goydla Iloi Lamaila Adin Ketz to be explained in the next Maimonides.